Hey guys, so I just got back from a cruise to Alaska and it was amazing. And I just wanted to tell you guys 5 things that you guys should definitely do when going on a cruise to Alaska. So depending on the cruise that you pick and which route you can go to slightly different ports and see slightly different things. The cruise that I went on, we went to Juneau, to Skagway, and to Ketchikan. And we also saw Glacier Bay, passed through that, and then we went to Victoria before coming back to Seattle. So I can't really vouch for any of the other cruise routes or ports, but from my experience on my cruise, these are the top 5 things that I found that you should do. Number 1, when you're in Juneau, there's tons and tons of different excursions that you can do. So most of my family, they went out and they went whale watching. They saw a whole lot of whales and they said it was an amazing experience. I know that when going to Alaska, a lot of people really want to go whale watching, so this is a pretty popular thing that I've seen a lot of people go do on this cruise. So me and my cousin, we went off and we did our own thing and we went ice caving. This is definitely my number 1 recommended thing for you guys to do. First off, we took a bus ride about 30 minutes to Mendenhall Lake, and then from there we got into a canoe, did a 2-mile canoe ride out to the glacier. Then we got to walk around the glacier, take tons and tons of photos, and we went into an ice cave for a little bit. Just a little bit more walking around, saw some amazing sights and views, and then did the same 2-mile canoe ride back. So word of warning, this trip is very exhausting, so be prepared if you are gonna go to canoe quite the distance, and then you're gonna have to do a lot of hiking and walking around a glacier and then canoeing back. So make sure that you're ready for that. The sights you will see there are spectacular and I highly recommend this trip. I did not book this in advance. I booked it when I got on shore and I saved a pretty decent amount of money booking it on shore as opposed to booking it on the boat. So I would also recommend doing that. Once you get off into the port in Juneau, there are a whole ton of tours and people selling tours and things like that. So you can go book whatever you want afterward. As long as you're quick enough and you beat a lot of the other people trying to get in. Usually for the whale watching ones, there's tons and tons of spots and you don't really have to book in advance. However, for this one in particular, when I got there, me and my cousin got the last 2 seats. So some of these things do fill up, and if you don't book in advance, well, you're running a little risk. But going ice caving is definitely worth it. So while we're on the topic of Juneau, number 2, second thing I would recommend is going to explore the cities. So make sure that you have time in your schedule and everything to walk around the cities and get to explore and really get the feel of Alaska. Juneau is a pretty interesting city. It's one major road as far as I could tell, and from when you walk around there's tons of touristy things and shops. It's also a very interesting city in that you actually can't access the city via roads. It's not connected to any highway or anything like that. The only way to get to the city is to fly in or to take a boat or a cruise or something like that. So after that, my cruise went to Skagway, and Skagway really has a nice downtown area that you're going to want to walk around and explore. So me and my family spent quite a lot of time walking around Skagway and exploring the city, and it's beautiful there. There's a lot of stores and museums and other things to see, so you definitely want to go check that out. The third thing I recommend doing on an Alaskan cruise, or well, I think for any cruise for this matter, is eat lots and lots of food. So there's always going to be good food on the cruise. Whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or whatever you want to do, midnight snacks, there's 24-hour buffets and other things like that. There's going to be great food all the time, and you really want to make sure that you don't sleep through breakfast or skip out on dinner or miss out, because the food is amazing. For us, we had a restaurant-style dinner that we had a time slot for every day if we didn't want to go to the buffet, and we made sure that we didn't miss out on our time slot because every night the menu changed and the food was just some of the greatest food that you will ever have, and there was no way in the world that we were going to miss that dinner. On these cruises, you get to eat as much as you want, you get to order as many things from the menu as you want, and it's a really great experience for those people who love food and want to try out lots of different types of food in an environment where you don't have to pay tons of extra money on top of what you paid already to get in to order really expensive and really nice foods. So it's definitely something you want to be prepared for. Be prepared to eat a lot. Don't be dieting on a cruise, because you'll lose out on a lot of really good food and a lot of really great experience to try out a lot of new things. So definitely make sure you eat lots of good food. Now on to number 4. I definitely recommend exploring everything that the ship has to offer. Plan your day well. Wake up in time or do it the night before, look at the next day's schedule and plan what you're gonna do. There's so many things going on the boat, from magic shows to bingo tournaments, and there's tons of free giveaways, and I went to a whole bunch of those. There was art auctions that my brother went and won some stuff at, and there's tons and tons of stuff that you can do that's a whole lot of fun, stuff you're gonna get to experience that you've probably never done before. I did a Zumba class, which was pretty interesting and quite the workout for me. My cousins and I went to the gym for a bit. There's a lot of bars and lounges if you're into that kind of stuff. There's tons of stores if you want to go shopping, and there's a whole ton of stuff on the boat to do, especially with shows and performances. And every boat's a little different, but I highly recommend going and checking those out. For us, we had a comedian on board and he was absolutely hilarious, and me and all of my family, we made sure to go to every single one of his shows because it was so good, and that was definitely one of the big highlights for us. And lastly, number 5, something I do recommend is going to check out Glacier Bay if your cruise is going that route. So a quick disclaimer, this bay is not a bay of glaciers as it kind of may sound, and as you're traveling through the bay, you're not going to be seeing glacier all over the place. So this bay is it's a big bay area that has glaciers in it that you will get to see several of, but not see the whole time you're going through the bay. So just putting that out there because a lot of people were confused about that. However, the ship does stop near a lot of glaciers and you get to take really nice pictures with the glaciers. So that is definitely fun and definitely worth it. So here are a few pictures of that, and it makes for some very nice photo shoots. So definitely, if you have the chance, check that out. And lastly, I just wanted to say, make sure you have as much fun as you possibly can, because you paid a lot of money to go on this cruise and you really want to capitalize on it and do as much as you possibly can and do stuff that you really can't do anywhere else. So when you're out and about, make sure you bring an adventurous spirit and a good camera to go, because you're going to be able to take lots of nice pictures and check out a lot of really nice scenic things that you won't get to see if you're in a more urban environment. So I hope you guys really enjoy the cruise, and if you haven't booked it yet and you're just viewing this to kind of see what you can do, I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun. Beautiful pictures will be taken, lots of smiles will be had, and you're going to be really full with good food. So definitely go and check that out, and remember to capitalize on everything that you can do, whether on the boat or on shore. Definitely don't want to sleep through this. It's going to be an amazing trip, and I hope you guys have a great one. And I will see you guys next time.